Well, let's take a look at this. 2 new Omicron variants detected in the U.S. could spark another COVID wave. Research shows these people will fare best. And, there's always another wave with this. More fear-mongering, more this, more that. And I bet that these two are even more contagious than the previous ones. But they don't know anything about death rates or anything, how serious it is. But let's get into the article here. It's by Aaron Prater, and it says 2 new strains of COVID that appear to be more transmissible than even stealth Omicron. There you have it. I didn't even see that, and already, right there it is, more transmissible. And that they have the ability to evade antibodies from the vaccine and prior infection, have arrived in the U.S., and they could mean a new wave is coming. BA.4 and BA.5, like the original Omicron, BA.1, originated in South Africa. Cases are surging there despite the fact that almost all South Africans have been vaccinated or have had COVID, Bloomberg reported last week. The country's National Institute for Communicable Diseases reported nearly 4,000 new infections on Sunday alone. Of those who are tested for COVID, 22% received positive results. The World Health Organization initially recommends levels of below 5% for communities wishing to reopen after COVID's first wave. Well, let's just take a look. Here's just from Bing. Just type that on in. Okay, yeah, we do see a surge. Looks like it's been going on for a couple of weeks, almost 3 weeks now. Let's just take a look. Deaths. There's a little bump right here, but it goes down. The wave started right in here. We should be seeing that bump up right there. No, that's generally what happens. I mean, that bump is weird right here. And that's a good... They say COVID lasts 2 weeks, so... I don't know. And let's just take a look. I just want to point this out. South Africa is way down here in vaccination rates. United States is up here. And let's continue on here. People who have been both vaccinated against COVID and infected with Omicron may very well get sick if they contract the subvariants. But they probably won't require hospitalization or die, top COVID researcher from South Africa told Fortune. If you were vaccinated and had Omicron, your protection is decent, at least against severe disease. Is he saying you have to be both vaccinated and had it? Kind of weird to, and you still might get it, but he's one of the top authors of the new study that found BA.4 and BA.5 could result in a new wave of infection due to their ability to evade antibodies, both from vaccination and earlier infection. If anybody's protected, it should be these people, and yeah, it should be. That's good news for many, but American vaccination rates are nowhere near what they could be. Around 66.2% of the total population is fully vaccinated, and only 45.8% have received a booster. According to the CDC, children under 5 are still not eligible for the vaccine. Notice they don't say anything about having had Omicron. They totally ignore that particular part. Said others won't be so fortunate. Single says those who have been infected with COVID prior to Omicron likely don't have much immunity to BA.4 or BA.5. Those who were infected with Omicron but not vaccinated won't have much immunity either. It could go either way for them, right there. Oh my goodness, you must be vaccinated. That's the only thing these people are harping on. BA.4 and BA.5 appear to be more infectious than BA.2, also known as stealth Omicron, which was more infectious than the original Omicron. Let's not forget BA.2.12 and BA.2.12.A, which were also more infectious than stealth Omicron, along with XE. I mean, they just come out the woodworks here. On Friday, Fortune was the first to report that both variants had arrived in the U.S. citing multiple COVID-19 researchers with the access to GISAID, GSAID, an international research database that tracks changes in COVID and the flu virus. The early samples of BA.4 in the U.S. was collected on March 30th. The earliest samples of BA.5 in the U.S. was collected March 29th. A new BA.4, BA.5 wave is a strong possibility, given the subvariants' increased transmissibly and their ability to evade immunity. Singal and his team wrote in their new study, but he doesn't expect a huge wave, given that Omicron infected so many worldwide. He also doesn't expect a very severe wave in terms of disease severity, he said, given the measure of protection, albeit reduced, that vaccines and or prior Omicron infection will offer. Infections, yes. Disease severity, not so much. He and his team tested the new subvariants against blood samples from individuals who had been vaccinated with shots from Pfizer or Johnson & Johnson and who had experienced breakthrough BA.1 infection, as well as those who had been previously infected with BA.1 but had not been infected. They found those who had been previously infected but not vaccinated experienced an 8-fold drop in neutralizing antibodies when exposed to the new subvariants. Those who had been vaccinated previously infected saw a more mild 3-fold decrease, according to the study. He said he was surprised by the study results. He didn't expect BA.4, BA.5 to escape immunity so well, especially considering these variants have only 2 changes when compared to the original Omicron. But apparently these are big changes. So far, the symptoms of the new variant seem pretty similar to the typical Omicron symptoms, which include fever, loss of smell, and malaise. I haven't seen early symptoms of respiratory distress. Getting tongue-tied here. The major COVID-specific symptom that makes this disease so dangerous. It doesn't feel nice, but there's less chance of dying. That's good news. There's good evidence that COVID is becoming milder with time, he said. And this is something a lot of people said way back when this was first done. It was going to get milder, and the far left and, quote, science said, no, that's not going to happen. We need to do all this type stuff while ignoring science. Due to this fact, is not infecting the lower respiratory tract where permanent damage can happen and dangerous low blood oxygen saturations can be triggered. So far, newer COVID variants reside in the upper respiratory tract where they're unlikely to cause serious illness. Until recently, experts thought a new, very different variant would be required to cause a wave. That was the case with Delta. But now these subvariants seem to be able to make a new wave. Subvariants, BA.4 and BA.5, worry him less than new variants. They're not so different from what we've had before. They're not going to do a huge amount of damage, though they might do a lot of infection, he said. When I see something completely different, that's when it's time to get concerned. So overall, this article is basically, BA.4 and BA.5 are more contagious. They're saying it's not as deadly, but you gotta have your vaccine. That's the only way you're going to prevent having a severe disease. The whole entire thing, the vaccine, I don't know, why did it change from being a vaccine to actually helping you prevent getting it versus, you're not going to get it severely now? Where's our cold ease and all this other type stuff for this stuff? That would really help. But I don't know. What do you think? Got these two new ones here. More contagious. All this type stuff. Yada yada yada. It's getting like a broken record. What do you think? Let me know. Grid 7, YouTube. Come on over to Rumble. See me on over there. And I'll see you next video.